So again, there's a two-pronged strategy here. What we've been talking about really is the passive strategy. Okay, I think that's what I called it. The brand building strategy. This is where you evaluate yourself beyond a recruiter or contract pimp. So what I mean by that is that you're not putting out content where, I'm hiring 140% contracts. DM me. I mean, that's better than nothing. But you're creating a continual, well thought out campaign talking about elements of the business, about the good work that you do, the advantages of running your own insurance business, and providing value to the people that are within your connection. Because one strategy, what we're going to be talking about is you're going and making cold approaches. You're creating and drawing in people to your social media sphere. And then the second strategy is you're providing an active yet passive brand building approach where people can get to know you on their own terms and see your content, really like it, begin to draw an affinity towards you. And as you connect with them that way, either yourself or they reach out to you, you create a relationship that way. And then when they're ready to jump, you're there and you're the first person they think of because you spend a lot of time providing value, lots of value, and building up a reputation through what they've seen from you. So again, this is something that you don't want to talk about the features so much of this business, but the benefits. You want to document certain aspects of it in different kinds of content. The best thing I can suggest you to do, there's a couple of ideas here. If you look at my page on Facebook, personal page, this one you're watching right now, look at over the past month, 2 months, to get great examples of what I think polls really well as far as what people are interested in. When I post on Facebook, there's always a side of me that's testing to see if a certain type of content polls better than another. Again, what I'm trying to do is every time I post on Facebook is to add value. I can see myself posting content up, and I can see an agent who's getting up first thing in the morning, getting ready to go out, maybe not feeling good, but they find some motivation or find some content that improves their ability to sell. And it gives them lifted spirits. It gives them a better confidence in themselves, and they feel like they've valued from it. So I want to put out content that establishes that, because these are people that I could be talking to 5 years from now that I wouldn't even know existed, but because I provided consistent levels of value, it allowed me to be that guy in their mind that would be a next choice if they were happy at the time, but then wanted to make a change. Again, it's a long-term strategy, but you have to treat this business like a long-term career. Because some of the best agents that you'll recruit come down the line after you've been well evaluated, after they've gotten to know you, and a relationship has been built, even on just a brand building basis. So what kind of content works well? So again, if you look at my personal page, go back again several months. I got a lot of recent content where I've really committed to this approach. I think there's some pretty good examples of engagement, of comments, ideas like that. I also, let me think of a couple others that are good too. If you go to Paramount's Benefits Group, they are Premier Benefits, I think Paramount Benefits Group. They're in, where is that place? Valdosta? No, Thomasville. No, it's Valdosta. Valdosta, Georgia. They're a good example of creating a great brand around their social media status. They talk about success stories of their agents on a regular basis. The guy that runs it puts up motivational videos. They put up random content about, success in life, different angles as it relates to how to be successful. And all of this plays into building content and value. Now, let me give you some specific types of content that work well. So videos work well. Again, guys, you don't have to be any good on video. I'm an introvert. Go watch some of my old videos. There's very little charisma. I don't smile all that much. There's not a lot of emphasis or emphaticness about it. Even now, I feel like I'm kind of weird on camera. I do weird body language things sometimes and laugh at myself, but I don't care, because most people don't either. They don't really care about that stuff They just want the content. They want the value. And there's been all sorts of people that have done videos that, at first blush, you'd think, how the hell will they even be successful? But they've got a story. And people are very forgiving as long as your intentions are true and you want to help and it comes through. So videos work very well. Again, I'd know because that's what I've done forever. It's been the cornerstone to my business. And even on a smaller scale level, videos allow your agent prospects to get to know you in a way that written content, while effective, can be even more effective. Again, you're on camera, people are watching a video, and they're seeing you like they would on TV. You literally develop a celebrity-like status. It's weird. I know it is. It feels strange for me saying it, but it's true. You can also do what Gary Vaynerchuk, if you ever heard of him, very good guy on the basics of building a business, especially a social media approach. Highly recommend him. Documenting the journey. So you may be thinking, well, I'm a newer agent, or I don't have much to say. Who cares? Like, so what? So a good way to do this is like, look, content is good because you got to understand video content, especially, even written anything. It differentiates. If you can tell a story, there's going to be people who are going to be interested in it. And one thing you can do is just document the journey of building your agency, the pros, the cons, the experience. You can even just document the journey of being an agent. What your day was like, what you experienced, what you're looking for in agents. And again, just telling the story of what a lot of us go through, but putting it on video is incredible content that people who are looking from the outside in that are interested will really appreciate in ways that you probably don't think of. And this is a long-term strategy that has been proven to work time memorial. So there is Claude Hopkins is an old marketer back in the turn of the century when copywriting and testing marketing ideas became kind of a big deal. And what he did with this beer company in Michigan is he was trying to figure out a way to position them in an ad so that people would be like impressed and want to buy their beer. And he wrote this flowery ad about the process of how they triple distill the beer, and it comes out of the fresh Lake Huron water, and it creates this wonderfully tasting beer. And the guys at the marketing, or the president of the beer company, said, this is what everybody does. This isn't special. But Claude said, look, well, this is the thing, is like adding value by telling the process is tremendous. People get an affinity towards it. They like that. They like to hear what it's like. And so that's the reason for me saying this is that's what like documenting the journey is about. Even you may think your story is not unique. It will be to the people that you want to target, and it will create the same kind of celebrity type effect too. Also, I find that short posts are really good. You'll notice, again, if you look through my feed, if you look through other ones like the other ones I've mentioned, some of my best posts that really do well on engagement is where I take a topic and talk about it for 200 to 500 words, and I bring a picture along to accompany it, just to kind of help it stand out. Production pictures, just showing proof of what you're doing. I wrote so much in business tonight, so much in, just kind of letting people know what you're doing and the success you have. People are very supportive of success, of personal success. Generally, humanity wants people to do better, not worse. And you can share it in a non-bragging sort of way, and people will congratulate you for it. And it lets people know that you're making something out of yourself too. And again, that kind of is attracting to people who may be on the fence, and they see you're successful, and eventually you'll start posting production stories or case studies about your successful agents, and that will further that process that much more. And then also training. And you can do training in the form of short posts, videos, pictures, whatever. All of this stuff, again, just to think about what would provide prospect agents, whether they're people that you've cold approached and put on in a friend request manner, or even people in your network that aren't necessarily insurance agents but might be interested in doing something solo and are curious to see what you're doing. This is stuff that they'll find valuable if they have an interest in your success and possibly looking at it as well. So again, another Gary Vaynerchuk philosophy here, which is jab, jab, right hook. So the concept with brand building is that we want to give value 100%. We want to give way more than 50% of ourselves in our what we share with our prospects and what we share with the people that we hope to do some kind of business with. I can tell you again, this is a philosophy of Gary V's that's worked really, really well in my business. To this day, my focus is almost entirely on giving as much value as possible, and maybe even to the detriment of my business. And the reason I say that is many times I forget to promote that I recruit agents and I recruit nationally. And I know some people watch my content and they never find me. I never make the connection. They just think I'm some guy talking and I got training available and stuff. And so I forget to promote as much because I'm more interested at the current time to give value. And the truth is, a couple layers below that, I know that I'll get really good prospects for agents because of the extreme value that I go hard on every single day when I create content. And it will take care of itself. And again, that is a cornerstone philosophy I think you should look at as true for yourself as well. If you focus on giving and building a brand around being sincerely desirous of helping people, it will show, it will stand on its own, and people who are naturally attracted to that philosophy will come to you and they'll flock to you. And they will want to do business with you because somebody who gives that much without asking for anything in return, imagine how great it would be to work with them. That's the thing you want them to think of on their own and come up in their minds with. So let's talk about strategy 2, which is cold approaches. So cold approaches are what you're going to do to build your network slowly, although not too slowly, but over a consistent period of time of multi-months, multi-years. And so here's how the strategy works. You can employ this with both LinkedIn and Facebook. Both work just fine. You can even use them in tandem, especially after you do some due diligence on LinkedIn, finding out who they work for, so on and so forth. But the idea is very simple. You contact and friend request agents in your area. Again, this is much easier if you're on LinkedIn. You can find, let's say, Lincoln Heritage agents that live in the Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama area. That would be my kind of wheelhouse, my area of target. So you got to target, market an area, figure out where you want to go. And then I can put in Lincoln Heritage, Alabama, Lincoln Heritage, Georgia, Lincoln Heritage, Tennessee. And then a bunch of agents will pop up that not only currently work with them, but also maybe had in the past. Those are good prospects. And when I find them, you can do one of two things. You can just read their information or profile enough there and kind of arrive at some understanding of where they are in their career. How long have they worked for Lincoln? Are they recruiting? What are they doing? Then you could possibly put their information into Facebook, find their personal page, see how much of it's public, how much are they, publicly advertising, recruiting with Lincoln, how involved are they? You can kind of determine to a certain extent how excited they are based on how much they're talking about working with the group. Especially, again, when you know what the target market is. A lot of Lincoln agents heavily push recruiting. So they want their downlines talking about recruiting. So you can kind of, again, measure how important that is to them based on what they're doing on Facebook and LinkedIn. But once you've developed this kind of information, then you can start targeting these agents with really good content and really good initial cold requests. Again, I don't want you spamming to every single agent, even though that's not necessarily a bad thing either. And what I mean by spamming is not taking into consideration the information they willingly give us on their LinkedIn and Facebook to custom tailor a good message. And so what I recommend to do is, again, this is where it comes into your personal experience on where certain agents are, what's going on in their companies, and how you can tailor a message around that. So I'll give you a perfect example. There's a very large mortgage protection marketing organization that has switched its model from direct pay from the insurance company to direct to as well, what's the term? Now the marketing organization is paying the agent. So no more do agents get direct pay from the companies. They make all of their new agents, and I'm sure they're grandfathering in the older ones. Now they're paid by the marketing organization. So the question of vesting becomes an issue. Are these agents actually vested in their commissions? And how does their new comp structure that they've rolled out affect their actual commissions? And I can tell you from a passive, sorry for the coughs, guys. I'm suffering from some pollen. I can tell you just from talks that I do with agents that contact me, this is a huge disruptive force that's going on right now in this organization. If you're interested in what it is, I'll tell you offline. I don't want to do it publicly. But this is a ripe opportunity to recruit good agents that otherwise may never have left because they were happy enough. But now that they've seen their income go down and they're doing the exact same work, and the perception is the man at the top is enriching himself way more than he had been already enriched without any added value that he's given, will piss off a lot of quality people. And any time that people are in a state of anger is a great opportunity for you. And so, having said that, I've recruited several of these guys that I never probably would have had the opportunity to hadn't I known this was going on. And the strategy you can employ is taking that information, finding these people on LinkedIn, finding these people on Facebook, and saying, hey, my name's David Duford. I'm reaching out to you because I noticed you're with so-and-so. And the reason I'm doing so is I've heard there's been a huge change in your commission structure. So much so that people getting paid X amount are getting paid Y. And there's a lot of angry people out there. And I'd like to talk to you and maybe show you how my particular program would work to maximize your commissions and give you an earnest and honest way of doing business again. You're going to find the reception to that is really good versus, hey, I can get you a 120-point contract. Call me back. You know, that's so basic that everybody gets that. It's nothing unique. But if you take time to look at that person's profile and you make a custom tailored message, you're in the money. Okay. So that is, and we can look at that on multiple different carriers. I can think of, there's 1, 2, 3, let's see what else. 3 different agencies in Final Expense that there is some sort, agency IMOs, that there's some sort of huge disruption going on that one could swoop in and start to aggressively go after those agents. All you have to know is a little market knowledge, which I'm sure some of you can imagine what I'm thinking of, and a strategy, and employ it, and just find a list, which is where all this comes in. Are you an insurance agent who is interested in building your own agency? If that's the case, then beware. There are so many opportunities, quote, opportunities, out there for agents to level up their game and build their agency that put all sorts of contingencies and stopgap measures to prevent you from actually owning your agency and maximizing your commission. I put together a new program for those agents who are interested in creating their own agency. It doesn't matter what product you sell, but to give you the knowledge and the pathway to own the entire process of growing your agency and scaling it and making sure that no one, not a single company, person, or upline owns you, where you own the thing outright and you build your agency in your vision only. This program is something you can learn more about very easily if you go to davidduford.com, click at the top that says Join Dave's Agency. You'll see a part there where it says Agency Builder Program, or something like that. Check that out, review it, and then feel free to get back with me if it's something that's interesting to you and useful, especially if you're looking to grow an agency and understand the importance of building an independent way that has no entangling alliances with anyone except the vision that you have. So thanks for watching, and hope to hear from you soon. See you. Bye.